When you need advice, come to Ben and Kelly. It's Group Therapy on 99.7 DJX.
Hi, Catie.
Hey, good morning.
Thank you, first of all, for allowing us to talk to you about this. And I guess since we haven't talked to you before, welcome to Louisville. You're relatively new to the city, yeah?
I'm still, it's been a year now, but I still feel like freshly arrived because there's just so much to still see, and I've been working at the same time, so it's not, I haven't had a chance to really explore as much as I want to. So yeah, I'm still making friends, still adjusting, but I'm happy. It's great here.
Yay!
I love it.
Yay! Awesome. So tell us what your situation is, and hey, thank you for reaching out to the show. I appreciate it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love you guys. It's nice when I drive to work. That's when I listen to you guys. But so I moved here a year ago after I lost a job. So at the time, I was living with my boyfriend, and we'd been together at that point about 2 years.
Okay.
And the plan was for him to join me after about 4 months, but then because of just life and transferring, and it's been now a year. But fast forward to now, he's about to move in with me in 2 weeks, and I'm just panicking because I don't want him to move anymore. I shouldn't say that. I don't. It's been a whole year, and I've just realized we're more different than we were before, even more different. He's never left his hometown, and he has definitely different views from me. And I just grew up where we were moving every 2 years. We're both homebodies. That's the same. But I guess he always stays in his comfort zone, and he needs things always. He just does a lot of the same things from he's a big Fish fan, so just always going to their concerts days in a row. And I get that, for me, I just always want to keep trying new things, but he's amazing. I just basically, he always says I don't compromise, and I make decisions without him, but we aren't married, and I'm only 25.
Right. So
I'm just struggling with how do I tell him that he should still move, but just not in with me, and I still want to see with us in the same town how we are in person again, and maybe this move will kind of push him out of the comfort zone, and not that he needs to be crazy and trying all different things, but I want him to be more open to new foods or new music or it's hard. I love him, but am I still in love with him? And I think the move would be great for him, but just not right in with me again. And
so Catie, so Catie, you're not wanting to necessarily break up with him, is what I'm hearing.
No, I love him. Yeah. I just want to see, if there's still that I'm excited to see him, but how are we now in a new city, and how are we after a year, and how are we? There's definitely not anyone else. I've not been interested in anyone else. For sure, I don't feel like he's done anything at all. We do have good communication. It's just, it's a big step, and I just, sure. I want to.
You want to be hey, come to Louisville, but just don't live with me, and
because then that's a whole other thing. If
sure.
It's not working out. So, I've been looking into places for him, actually. I just don't know how to tell him. I don't know if I should wait till he gets here and he kind of stays with me a couple weeks. I don't know. All
right. Well, Catie, we've got a lot of people that are texting us already and, chiming in. So if you want to hang out,
great.
I was going to say we can help steer you kind of in the direction that we feel like you should go. And then if you could follow up with us, because you said, he's supposed to be moving in 2 weeks. We'd love to, get a follow up with you or whatever, after the fact.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Thank you.
Cool. Well, again, thanks for listening to the show. Welcome to Louisville. And we'll try to help you out.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Okay, so I have
Kid gloves, Kelly.
a similar experience. Listen, I was dating a guy in Michigan who moved here for me, for us to date. And a week after he got here, he's like, you know what? Let's be friends. And that was pretty devastating. Like for him to get here and for the first time in our relationship, we were in the same city.
Yeah.
He didn't move in with me. He moved to a separate place, but he gets here in a week later. He's like, yeah, I think maybe we should just be friends. It was kind of a yo-yo thing for several years after that. Ashley said, and she pointed out, he's never left his hometown. Ashley said he's trying for her. He's moving for her. That's out of his comfort zone. And she said Louisville's dating pool is awful. She better keep him.
You better bring your own if you want to find love. All right. Well, hey, this is why we do group therapy. All right. So let us know what you think. Maybe you, like Kelly, have had an experience like Catie, and tell us how
I was in her boyfriend's position, and that was not fun. Like, I feel like a lot of people are saying, listen, she needs to have this conversation before he moves, because that kind of a sucker punch, especially when they have lived together before.
Right.
That's natural for him to expect that's going to be the situation in this town.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So 502-571 9970 group therapy. I spoke to Catie, relatively new to the city. Her long-distance boyfriend of 2 years, who she had lived with in her previous city, planning on moving here in a couple weeks. But now she's like, I don't know if I want him living with me.
Yeah, she doesn't want to break up with him, and she's not saying don't move here, but it's been a year now that they've been living apart, and I think she wants to take a step back a little bit.
Now, I will say
a lot of people are kind of like pointing out that's going to be really different.
Yeah, and I will say that I lived a long-distance relationship with my now wife. I got, I grew up in Columbus, Ohio. I got a radio job out of the state and about 4 hours away. And so I moved away, and so we did a long-distance relationship for the better part of 2 years, maybe.
Okay, but then by the time you were in the same city...
But yeah, but that was all leading towards an engagement, and then, we even got engaged long distance, and then finally when we got married, and that's when she moved in with me, and that's when I also decided I can't live in this small town in Indiana anymore.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Well, and that's the thing so Katie's only 25, and she was saying that, I think she's still figuring some things out. Her boyfriend's never left his hometown. This is going to be a giant leap for him. Yeah. And a lot of people are pointing to that. Alana said, in my opinion, moving in with her would probably be a good thing for him, because it would be one thing he's used to. Moving to a new place really scary. And he probably needs something steady and someone that he can depend on to go home to at night if he's had a rough day in a brand new city where he knows no one but you. I would ask him to come down for a week or two for a trip to see how you guys are, but don't let him waste his time and money moving here just to find out you no longer want to be with him in the same way you were before.
Crystal says she needs to tell him now in just the way she actually said it to you guys on the air.
Yeah.
Just be honest and vomit the words out. Okay, so here's what I'm saying.
I love you, but I don't know if we should live together right now. And then we're just figuring some stuff out. And I don't know. I don't know how that's going to go.
Melissa said on Facebook, I see a lot going on here on both sides. And being from a similar childhood of moving around constantly, he said he was coming in 4 months, and it's been 12 months. Red flag. You lived together first for 2 years, but now you like living alone better. Red flag. This is a validation that you'll be okay whenever it ends, and honey, you will be. I stopped moving around and loved this stability as an adult. Yes, it did create issues until I faced them. It also made me more diverse and open to a change. So...
Yeah, that's a really good point. Bethany said if she's going to tell him, she needs to do it soon. Expenses for living with a partner versus living alone are completely different. He may not be financially prepared to take that on right now.
You know what? I like the suggestion of, well, unless he's already signed a lease. Well, he wouldn't have signed a lease. He'd be just moving with her. Yeah, so
exactly.
I
He's expecting to move in with her.
Right. So I like the suggestion of maybe her going to him and saying, "Hey, I know this is crazy, and it's probably a lot of stress on you. Why don't we do like a trip, like stay here for a week or two, and before you completely uproot."
Yeah.
Just as a, hey, do you like the city sort of thing? And maybe she, kind of surrounds it in that package of, hey, do you like the whole package of the city and the place I'm staying without the commitment of him actually living there? I don't know. That's a risky move though, because he could just assume or be like, well, I don't want to go home. I'll just stay here. I'll just go up and get my stuff and come back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Gretchen said Louisville's a nice city, but it is one of the hardest cities to make friends if you're over 20 and not in college. She said, I moved from the D.C. area. It is really difficult. It took years. As a therapist, about 50% of the people I see are struggling with finding friendships and relationships and, who have lived here their whole lives.
Okay, so what are we telling her? Because we gotta tell her something.
We have to tell her that she has got to have this conversation before he moves here. This is a conversation that has to happen before he moves.
Yeah.
Because if he's got one, thinks it's going to be one way, that he's moving here to live with her.
Yeah.
And then she sucker punches him when he gets here, like, I think we should live apart. And then he's in a strange town. He doesn't know anyone.
He's got to find
Gretchen points out, this is a tough place to move into and make friends.
Right.
And, I went through all of that when I graduated from college and moved here. It was very difficult to make my own friends. Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah, that's why I had kids right when I moved here, just so I could have built-in friends.
Yeah, you brought your people with you. I didn't have people when I moved here.
All right, so I think that's good. Yes, have the difficult conversation of, but I kind of want her to have the, hey, why don't you just come down here for a visit?
Yeah.
And see.
Yeah, it really, he has never left his hometown,
right.
She said. So it would be nice to see if he even likes it here.
Right.
Or could see himself living
here. Yeah, because
here.
who knows? Because he might be here 2 weeks and it's like, I don't get the vibe of the city.
Right.
I think I'm just going to, move home and, we'll try to continue long distance until you find a better job back home or something. Yeah, who knows? All right, well, hopefully we've clouded your brain even more, and
no, we've given her clarity on the fact this conversation needs to happen before he just brings all of his stuff and shows up at her door. And
definitely follow back up with us.
Yeah.
Because we're all invested. And again, thanks for listening to the show, and we're hoping that we help you out. So let us know.